The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, it's a part of the U.S. Treasury Department, had put together a rule that if you had an LLC or any other corporate entity, you were going to have to register that information with the federal government. Now, the federal government claims they're doing this to combat terrorism and all the illicit bullshit and nonsense they have out there. Obviously, it's not about that. It's all about control and hoovering up information. But they were looking for the beneficial ownership information of your business. So even for me, an LLC, I was going to have to provide them with LLC information. It was supposed to go into effect this year for everyone. There's ongoing litigation. And right now, it's been stayed. And it's in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. And this was filed on the 26th. And it's good news for everybody. It's good news out there. You don't have to file. You're not subject to any fines. But dated December 26, 2024. Here's an order that gets put out. So this is from the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. And the case is Texas Cop Shop Incorporated, along with other people, including the Libertarian Party in Mississippi, other organizations, against Merrick Garland. Remember, as the U.S. Attorney, he is the top representative there. So you also have the Treasury Department, the Director of FinCEN, and then you have other people involved in this, and then Janet Yellen as the Secretary of the Treasury. And this is an appeal out of the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Texas, which is in the Fifth Circuit. And they point out on a December 3rd, the district court entered an order enjoining enforcement of the Corporate Transparency Act. And that's, among other things, there are a lot of other enforcement mechanisms in this act. But it attacks every LLC out there, even like, you. If you have some piddly dink LLC, it's covered by this. And it's corresponding reporting rules. So on December 3rd, they were enjoined. The government appealed, and on December 23rd, a motions panel of this court granted the government's emergency motion for a stay pending appeal. So the order also expedited the appeal to the next oral argument panel. So they got a temporary one, but they immediately moved to immediately, how can we fix this? So the merits panel now had the appeal, which remains expedited, and a briefing schedule will issue forthwith. But they say in the meantime, in order to preserve the constitutional status quo, while the panel considers the parties' substantive arguments, the motions panel order granting the government's motion to stay is vacated. So the motion to stay is vacated. And the district court's preliminary injunction enjoining enforcement on CTA and the reporting rule is vacated there. So that means it goes back into effect, the initial stay. And if you go over here to FinCEN, they point out here, in light of a recent federal court order, reporting companies are not currently required to file ownership information with FinCEN and are not subject to liability if they fail to do so while the order remains in force. And they say, however, you can voluntarily submit your beneficial ownership information reports. I would not recommend doing that. Do not give them help. Do not give them help. Okay, chat? And they point out here, as of December 26th, the injunction issued by the district court is once again in effect. As a result, reporting companies are not currently required to file the ownership information with FinCEN. So that's all you have to do. There might be other requirements out there. The entire Corporate Transparency Act has not been enjoined. So if you're part of a corporation that may have other requirements, you should consult with legal counsel to figure out what it is you have to do or not do. But there are other requirements if you happen to be more than just an LLC. There are other things out there. But I wanted you guys to know that's the current situation here. You do not have to do anything. The injunction is once again in effect. So just keep that in mind. The injunction issued on December 26th, it's all back on. So everything's on hold again. Yes, it applies to corporations as well, yeah. LLCs, S-Corps, everything, guys, are covered by this reporting. Everything is covered in this. The reporting for this part alone is enjoined, but the rest of it, I don't believe, has been enjoined, so you may have other things to actually deal with. And the FinCEN would have the ability to fine you quite a bit of fucking money if you weren't complying with this. It could be up to a couple $100 a day if they determine it. So And I just want to make sure people know about this one because people were getting worried. I received emails from people and I told them, here's the thing in the meantime. But I want you guys to know you don't have to report right now. That may change, but as of today, January 2nd, 2025, you don't have to report beneficial ownership information. But once again, if you have a corporation, you consult with an attorney licensed in your jurisdiction to figure it out, because I am not giving you legal advice. I'm just telling you currently what FinCEN is doing. Not necessarily what that means for you, but in general terms. So if you're not sure, talk to whoever you use for legal counsel. Or if you don't talk to anybody, go figure it out. The idea they're doing this at all to fight terrorism or crime is bullshit. It's all about the government acquiring data and the government clamping down further.